Hello everyone, it is December 25th, 2018. This video is going to be a compilation of a lot of films that I put together over the last year. I was trying to figure out how to do this in a really easy way. Ironically, I guess the phone will do it for me. It's going to look a little bit rough because what I'm just going to do is go into my video file and just pull things up from the chronological order in which they were filmed. I'm not going to show you everything that's on there because what I did film sometimes just doesn't come out as effectively as what you see with your own two eyes. But nonetheless, I wanted to pull this Bible verse up because this is exactly where we are right now. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the seas and the waves roaring. Now, I want everyone to think about what's been going on with PUTIN. We know we were getting along so well for a while. Does anybody have any clue why we are not getting along with them? I really would look back in the last 5 to 7 years and go, what's been going on? I think this word really sums it up pretty well. I think everybody's absolutely clueless. We know why we're in that country that has SYRIA. That country, does anyone have a clue over there either? So anyway, all of these things are kind of coming to pass right now. I don't know how many of you have been watching some videos that have been coming out over the months. I keep my finger on the pulse, which is not in our news media because they are reporting nothing, but this is going on all over the world right now. It's been crazy in places where people are just, they're looking around going, what is going on? There's no reason this should be happening. It's gravitational effects of what I brought up in my last videos. So I'm going to go ahead and start playing what I've got here. I have it in a certain order. So what I'll do is go into my video file and I will play them like that. And I'm going to end my videos with a tutorial I put together. It's, I think, only 2.5 minutes long, but I took a round globe and showed what you're actually going to see because I'm going to prove it with a compass. And you're going to have to look and figure out what is going on because it doesn't make sense. I know what it means, but it's probably too far out for most people to grasp. So you're just going to have to look, and I will let your own brain cells do the work for you, and you come to your own conclusions. So anyway, here we go. Okay, I started filming April 26. I came outside and looked up and couldn't believe it. I am 50, let's see, well, I guess I was 50 years old at that point. Looked up and saw something I had never seen in my entire life. A lot of people would just want to say and dismiss this as something called a sundog, which is an extremely rare phenomena that takes place in extremely cold conditions, usually up near the Arctic Circle. You'll see a lot of stuff out there lately saying, oh no, it's been going on all along, but you'll see that nobody has any videos of any of this going on. I don't think farther than a year back. I was watching people filming this all over the world at this time and was fascinated by it. And then I went out my door one day, looked up, and it was all within the same month. I was seeing all these people filming this and hearing about it. Basically, a sundog will be filmed, like I said, up north. It's usually close to the horizon. Oftentimes it has what I would call pins. There's a bright light at the very top, usually one at the side. And it's done, these things take place usually in extremely moist and cold conditions. So it is usually an Arctic Circle phenomena. But nonetheless, this is what I saw on that day. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video and just show you a clip of it.
No one wants to believe any of this is happening. No one wants to believe any of this is happening.
Okay, so that's the very first one I had. I also filmed it just a few seconds later at a neighbor I pulled out to just explain to him what was going on because a lot had been going on. I don't think I've mentioned this in my prior videos, but I had an Airbnb guest that had shown up at my place right after I got back in Kansas City in March, and we discussed all the things that are going on with some clarity, and I filled my neighbor in on that day. Here's the second video.
No.
Okay, so that's the second video. Let's see here. So we're going to go from there to Monday, May 28th, the 22nd.
2-6, that's due east, 10 to 6 in the morning on the 29th of May. And the sun is coming up over there. That's due north. So why is the sun coming up almost north? It's right dead center to that.
I'm not a morning person, so I do a lot of grumbling. This one was, you know what, actually, I think I'm going to skip that one because it is interesting when you see the clouds, but you can't see exactly where the sun is coming from, so it's really not so effective. Next one I'm going to play is the June 14th, 57-second.
I'm doing both of these recordings at the same time. It's 5:23 a.m. in the morning, and this is, let's see, what is this? This is south. I'm behind the building. I just showed you the front, and so this is south. Going this direction. This is due east. This is where you think the sun would be coming up, and this is where the sun is actually coming up. And what I was trying to indicate is last night the sun went down over here, and now the sun is coming up in the northeast, and it is now currently going down in the northwest, which is just where I showed you in this direction. I'm doing both of these.
Okay, so we have that video. This one I'm going to play, and then I'm going to play one I just did today, a testimony from my mother. She actually came out and saw this. I think I filmed this just before I ran up the stairs to her apartment. This is an apartment building, so she has her own unit. I ran up into her unit to pull her out of bed to show her exactly what I was seeing because I just absolutely couldn't believe it. But anyway, this is a 1-minute video. And right after this, what I'm going to do is I probably should, actually, maybe I'll do it right now. Let me show you a compass so you understand direction here to my block.
This is a follow-up video just to prove direction. This is what I've been filming is due west over the last many days. Here's a compass showing true north. So as you can see, I'm moving it around, letting it orient to however it wants to. So let's go ahead. I live in a historic neighborhood, so I'm on a true meridian. Everything in the city is true on the compass. Hello, what are we doing? There we go. $5 compass, but there we go. So there's due north. There is where the sun has been setting, and you can see what I'm showing you. And I live in northern hemisphere, Kansas City, due west. And there was that west-facing sunrise on June 20th. That was over a month ago. I believe today is the 23rd or 24th of July. Just proving a point.
Okay, so I have that just to show what the direction actually is. Let me go back to the June 20th. This was the summer solstice, I believe. I don't think it was the 21st. It might have been, but I actually think this was the summer solstice.
Okay.
This is, I explained it in this video anyway, but it was, I will open the door, and typically it would have been twilight, and I woke up, opened the door to this. This is, the sun had not come up yet. Let's just put it that way. I actually pulled it up for this morning that I filmed this to see when the sun was supposed to come over the horizon. It was going to be 2 more minutes. So look at the sun conditions in this video, and, you know, you could just attest that there's something very wrong here. I knew what I was seeing was absolutely abnormal, so then I looked up, and that's what freaked me out.
5:51 a.m. Wednesday morning. This is due north. This is east. This is south. What the hell is that? We have something that looks like a sunrise due west. people don't think something's not going on. Have no clue.
I'm not a morning person. That was a double negative.
Today, I believe, is the 20th of June. And again, this is the morning.
Okay, so that was that video. Let me go up to tonight. This is what I just recorded with my mother. Okay, this video is being done on Christmas Day 2018. This is just a testimony video that I wanted to include my mother in because she was present on the morning I ran out of my apartment and ran up into hers to wake her at 5:51 a.m. on, I believe it was the summer solstice formally. It was June 20th. And I opened the door, and typically at that time, you would have a twilight condition, and I woke up, opened the door to full sunlight and a west-facing sunrise. And it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sunlight conditions with no shadows in my front yard, which typically is the situation for at least the early morning hours until the sun clears the gable. So I was absolutely shocked. I ran up the stairs to her apartment, woke her up, drug her down to the front door, and her jaw hit the floor. So anyway, I wanted to get her to give just a little bit of a quick acknowledgement of what happened. So go ahead, Mom.
Yes, I came out the front door and I was absolutely flabbergasted because straight west was a sunrise, and it was completely out of the norm.
Yeah, you couldn't actually see the sun, but it was so bright, it was clearly not a reflection hitting the clouds because the next day the sun was back in its normal position, or let's put it this way, the sun that we saw was coming up in the east, and it was, again, twilight conditions. The sun was not even far enough up on the horizon the day prior that it would have even made contact with the cloud bank that was being seen, but it was so overwhelming and so obvious that the sun that we saw west-facing was, the light was emulating out of that west-facing cloud. So just wanted to include her in on that, just to let you know that I'm not crazy, and I drug someone else down to take a look at this that day. Okay, this video is being done on...
So that is her little testimony there. The next video I wanted to do, let's see, July 27th. I already did that one, so we'll skip on to the 25th and a 33-second video here.
West. This is typically where the sun would have gone down years ago. It is now going down right there, and in about, let's see, it's 8 o'clock, in about an hour and a half, it will be all the way over there. So the last hour and a half, 2 hours, it travels horizontally, and in the morning it will do the exact same thing. It comes from the northeast, travels for about 2 hours, and then starts to head straight up over the top of the building in a horseshoe pattern. Not the way it used to be. Due west.
Okay, so now I want to go ahead and show you a 17-second video. What I'm going to point out, I'll stop it in a moment to make a point here that you're going to see in this video down here in just a few minutes.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. There is west facing, and there's the sun way over there now. It's up in the northwest.
Okay, what you're seeing right here, this direction is the direction if you were looking at Alaska. So where I started this video out, where you're looking straight across, that would have been, heading towards California. This is looking towards Alaska. In the backyard, what I would see the next day is the sun would be coming up basically where Madison, Wisconsin is. It absolutely did not make any sense. And you can see the span of months as I'm pulling this up to see the dates of when these things were occurring. So I will keep going.
That doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll play this one more time.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. There is west facing, and There's the sun way over there now. It's up in the northwest. That doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So from that, I will go to July 1st. Let's see. 22nd.
I make my point. Due west. It is 9:33 or 9:35. This is due west. And look what we got going on way over there. Far northwest. There's the sunset, guys. Anybody awake yet?
Okay. And with that, now I'm going to go into my little tutorial and you'll be able to understand. This is what I'm showing on a globe model, and I'm going to explain our system that we have on the globe model with the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn.
Just a quick explanatory video. I took a globe and I have marked out the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. These are the 2 points on the globe that the sun reaches between the summer solstice and the winter equinox. The equator is buried under the blue, but the actual boundaries of the sun being directly overhead are in the blue fields. Now, somebody needs to explain to me why used to be on the summer solstice, today is the 21st, and we are on the summer solstice. So, I want to know why the sun is not rising in the east and setting in the west. Every morning, the sun is rising up in the northeast and setting in the northwest. I put this rope on here to indicate how it is setting and rising. And
We are
I
right
myself
there.
live in Kansas City, Missouri. You can see St. Louis is right here. I would assume I'm somewhere along here. So I'm very curious to know why this is here and this is here and not here or here.
And I'm being too kind. It
Years
should
ago,
never be
I did not have the sun
north
coming
of
in
there
my
or there.
north-facing windows in my building, and now I have sun coming in my dining room in a way that is physically impossible. Yesterday morning, I woke up at 5:51. This was June 20th. At 5:51, walked outside to bright sunlight and sun coming up in the west behind the clouds. This was 2 minutes before sunrise, and it was as bright as afternoon day. Something is up. I know very well what it is, but I want you all to do your own arithmetic and figure this out yourself. So there's what you're going to see when you get up in the morning. Notice where the rope is. Look out to the northeast. Notice the sunrise is coming from there and not the due east. And notice where the sun is going down every night. This should make you figure out something's a little bit wrong. I've seen other people who have made comments that the sun is behaving like a horseshoe, which is exactly what it is doing. So notice where the sun is about an hour after sunset, and you'll notice that you'll see the crescent moon indicating the sunset is far north of North America. This is physically impossible. Check it out yourself. Just a quick explanation.
So now on that note, I'm going to go ahead and leave it with this, just a set of snapshots I took this morning. I can't really connect the video because I did do a video on this, but I did it on the actual cell phone that I'm filming this video on, so I don't have a way to do it in the same display manner. I will probably post it right after this just to make the point. This was this morning, though. A lot of people do not believe in chemtrails. They find them to be conspiratorial. But what I can tell you is this is why you see this milky garbage everywhere now. You didn't used to see this, and you can tell what this is made out of. But nonetheless, as this is blown up, this is very wide. And I walked out immediately this morning, saw that, went to my backyard. Now, as it's dissipating, you notice what's going on here. This is quite wide. I would say that's probably, I don't know, I would easily say that's probably over 500 feet wide. Now, as it's dissipating, you notice it's looking more and more like this garbage over here. See how there's the line, there's a line there. It's just blending in. Looks like there's a shadow of maybe one that went this direction at some point earlier. So anyway, backyard there again. Now, I saw another sundog this morning. Looked over in the other direction, started seeing this, and realized what I was looking at again. It's the same old thing. Here you go. You got that big old curve going on. This is because of the barium and aluminum that they're using in the sky to create these. It is extremely reflective. That's why you're catching all these weird edges. But it's because it's designed to do this. It's to opaque our atmosphere so objects that are above this can't be seen. I did say this in one of my other videos on my way to Jerusalem several months ago. I noticed I hadn't been on a flight in probably 5 years, and I hadn't been on an international flight in, my gosh, I guess 1984. But nonetheless, you cruise at 35,000 feet, and immediately I was like looking out the window because I always like having a window seat. Was seeing something I had never seen before. They cruise at 35,000 feet purposefully, so they're above the cloud bank, and then you have nothing but nice, clear blue skies above you. That's always the way it was. I think they've been gently introducing these probably over the period of time I have not been on a flight, so most people were just starting to get kind of used to them. But nonetheless, I at one point looked out my window, and I think I was already over the Atlantic Ocean on my way over to Israel, and I looked out and up, and I couldn't believe it because it was like silly string everywhere, and they were thinner than the one that I just showed a second ago, but I would say, honestly, there were probably at least 15 of them, and they were just striping all over the place, and they were much higher than my plane at 35,000 feet. That is the cruising altitude of commercial flights, so that made no sense that there was all this other stuff going on above my plane, except that there was something that they were yet again trying to hide. There's absolutely no reason at all that you would ever have a plane up that high, let alone putting off this kind of chemical opacity so you can't see the heavens above you. I mean, there was nowhere during that period of time on my way over that I detected any blue sky. It was like this same old murky, milky stuff. So anyway, on that note, it was sort of a fun video to put together. I don't know how well this turned out on the other side. It certainly looks better, I'm sure, on my camera than it does doing a copy of a copy. But nonetheless, this is what people are seeing all over the world. There are other things that others are picking up that I have yet to pick up on, but it seems like they're going sequentially. Like the month that I saw this, people were seeing this all over the world and were filming it. I haven't heard of any of this going on in months, and like I said, here was Christmas Day, and here was another one outside my door. So on that note, have a great day, guys, and I will talk to you soon.